What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Biblical Hitman. I'm your host, Steven. I'm here with Jesse. I'm here with Taylor. And it's just us tonight. We're going to talk about a bunch of interesting things. We're going to get into a few current events, and we're going to get into, obviously, the Super Bowl, right? It's the big talk of the town. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a ritual, during the halftime show. But it seemed like it was okay this year. But I did find a few interesting points, and I'd like to get right into it right at the beginning here. But if you're new, if you're returning, you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, like the show, share it with your friends. Real quick appreciation to the audience. We appreciate you being here. We love our community, and let's see that live chat just get set on fire. All right. We want to see a bunch of interaction with this live premiere. So don't hold back. Let's have a good conversation, and let's have a good show. So, boys, how we doing? What's going on?
We doing?
We're doing the thing, huh? Goodness. Taylor had a little bit of some audio hectic haywire before the show.
Yeah, no more cool red mics. We're getting rid of them.
I know, man. I'm telling you.
Yes,
they're out of here.
We're moving on.
Moving on up.
Moving on up. Yeah. Dude, the Eagles, huh? They kind of wrecked house.
Dude.
It's embarrassing. I'm not even a football person. And
Yeah,
I was like, goodness, I'm hearing people talk about it left and right at Disney World.
Yeah.
And
they came to play.
Yeah. They came to play.
Put down
the foosball.
The foosball. Foosball's for the devil.
Right? Mama said.
Mama said.
Mama said all that alligator had all that teeth, no toothbrush.
So honorary.
Yeah. What'd you guys think, man? Any weird conspiratorial thoughts, huh, with the show? What's going on?
I mean, with the halftime show?
The halftime show, yeah.
I mean, I watched it live, and I was kind of back and forth going through everything. And, of course, we've already heard, listen, I'm just going to come out with it. Kendrick Lamar, I listened to Kendrick Lamar Overly Dedicated mixtape. Well, I mean, I was a big fan, back in 2007, 2008, and huge fan for years. And then, times change, and he fell off the map for a cool couple of years too. Like, he just left. He came out with what was that? What his best album? Can't even remember. Money Trees is on the album, but
it's been a while.
It's been a while, man.
It's been a
while. I don't really listen to music that much anymore.
It's been a while.
That kind of music, anyways. But no, I watched it live, and I was like, waiting for, Eminem to come out and do some weird stuff and all the rest of them. And it was just Kendrick, doing his latest music. He did the Drake song where he calls him, a child guy. And, but, I mean, as far as everything else goes, I was trying to look for stuff. I saw some red. They all, remember when they went and they made the American flag with their outfits? They were all dressed in red, white, and blue. The red was a little bit suspicious to me.
Right. Well, the red was the predominant color at first.
It definitely
red.
was.
A lot of witches and warlocks wear red too. So.
It's a type of red too. It's a pretty ominous red.
Yeah, it was a dark blood red.
Yeah.
Right. And they're on top of a stage, which kind of looks like an altar, and it's honestly like they're offering blood on top of the altar, or on the altar or something like
Ritual
that.
Altar.
Okay, all right.
Which is interesting to say the least. But I thought it was a pretty clean show. I think you really had to kind of dig deep into the back of your mind and do a bunch of research to kind of figure out if there was any kind of occult connections to it, which obviously I did all of that. And I actually got into something that I've never heard before. That's a part of the occult, and that's candle magic. There's actual candle magic.
Yeah, there's different colors you can do. Like green is money to get money.
There's different colors of candles that pertain to the magic and the meaning behind it and all of that. And so the colors that I pertinently I researched and I looked up, and I found a bunch of things here that I'm going to share shortly. But it was obviously the three colors, right? The red, white, and the blue. Which it came off honestly like the show came off patriotic. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Came off patriotic. You had Samuel L. Jackson,
Uncle Sam.
like, where were the snakes, bro? Snakes on a plane. Yeah. I've had it with these snakes on this plane. We keep this show clean, folks.
Yeah.
As clean as
but
possible.
he definitely blows some F words in that.
Yeah.
uh, makes it a lot better. Not better, just way more enthusiastic,
Funnier. Yeah.
funnier. Yeah. So I guess I'll just get into the colors, right? And then I'll kind of break down a little bit of some things that I did see that we can all kind of talk about. But the candle color magic white means cleansing, purifying, healing, truth, peace, spiritual workings, lunar and goddess energy, and harmony. It also represents the moon. So a little bit of moon worship going on, if you want to think of it like that. There was nothing to do with the moon during the show whatsoever, but I thought it was kind of interesting. The red color is the fastest color. It applies to witchcraft and it's used to speed up a spell, which is what the show kind of opened up with, was the color red. And the color red it also signifies Mars, astronomically. Mars.
I knew Elon Musk was a part of it.
Right, right.
No way. Is he really?
And so, but a little bit more about the color red, according to Candle Magic here, is that it means passion, energy, sex, anger, lust, power, love, confidence, determination, courage, and health.
Wow.
I mean, you read these things at first hand, and they really don't sound too bad.
Convoluted.
But then you just put Satanism with it, and then you're like, oh, right.
I mean, the red did look very
Little-
ominous. I mean,
little
simple
worse.
as
Yeah. And then my favorite, the color blue. Real quick, the color blue is an interesting color. Me and Jesse, we were a part of a podcast back in the day, and the one before this one, and we did an
that.
episode
It shall not be
where
named.
yeah, we did an episode where we kind of talked about the Hawaii fires, and we talked about the color blue and the fact that a lot of the things that were able to survive the fires were the color blue. You know, the blue
Right.
vehicle, unburnt, blue canopies,
Hmm.
blue sunshades.
Even recently in the
Oh
California
yeah, and
fires.
yeah, and even people's rooftops blue. Their houses still stood. I think even like Oprah Winfrey's house. I think something had to do. She
Oh,
had
yeah.
some blue
In
things on
Hawaii?
her
Oh, probably
on her
both
compound.
California and Hawaii.
Yeah, it's weird. This weird stuff with the color blues, which have made us dig into a bunch of things that were circulating the social media community as far as like the color blue and laser technology and the fact that lasers don't burn, or they're not useful against the color blue, if that makes any sense. And the one crazy thing that I found is that the frequency of light, the numerical behind it is 666. I forget if it's
So weird.
0.666. I forget if it's a 6.66, but there's three sixes there.
Yep.
And just thought it was completely bizarre.
Hmm.
But the color blue here, there's two different styles of blue. There's light and dark. So the first one, light, means inspiration, guidance, friendship, and healing. And the dark means psyche, ability, empathy, balance, and communication. Kind of made me think about the one episode that we did with your dad about psionics. Something like that is kind of what we talked about for that show a little bit. And the color blue represents astronomically the planet Jupiter. And so Jupiter is a Roman god, and you can go ahead and you can make your connections with that as you may to Lucifer, Satan. I believe it was one of the Roman emperors that built a temple on top of the supposed place where Christ was buried. They built a temple of Jupiter on top of it, which kind of I can see the cosmic chess game going on here, where Christ died for our sins, rose from the grave, walked 40 days, and appeared to many people after, with his wounds still intact, and defeated death. Amen. And the devil went ahead and just built a pagan god temple on top of it to try and throw his counter move. But then Constantine came in and I believe destroyed it. And he was the first Christian emperor of Rome. So some things to do with candle magic and the Super Bowl halftime show. The one other color that I did see that was interesting was the color black. Black was only worn and appeared to be on Kendrick's person. It was the underlying shirt that he wore under his jacket. And so black represents self-control, strength, protection, repelling, and wording. And it represents Saturn. The color black represents Saturn.
The black
astronomically.
cube. Yeah.
So it seems like everything. Jesse's wearing a black shirt. He's
I
like,
know. Black
right.
hat.
I
black shirt.
only wear black.
Yeah.
Our soon to be merch is going to start black.
Right.
I
So
mean, it doesn't have to, but
no, but it goes with the emblem. I think it's cool. It's a visual look.
We live in a dark world. Man.
Right,
We
right,
got to be
right.
the light. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
I hear you. I hear
Amen.
you. We're gonna come up with a light white shirt, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna have black and white, and then we're gonna be it's law of duality. So
I'm
really,
literally
there's
going
no
to put
win-win here.
white
Right.
LEDs, the brightest white LEDs I can find on a white shirt. That's going to be our first white shirt.
That's
It's going to
funny,
be like blind you when you look at it.
right? So when I thought of the color black, I was like, okay, so if Kendrick Lamar is wearing the black, let me keep an eye on him and maybe see where he's walking on stage, what his location on the stage with the other, dancers around. What's the significance behind it? And so at some point early on in the show, when he first gets onto the roadway, because there's the part of the stage became an open road that was wide, and there were streetlights on it, and I say wide because there was no lanes drawn on the roadway, and so biblically this can kind of represent that when Jesus is talking about the getting into heaven per se, that the road is narrow and that the road to destruction and hell is wide. And so that road was wide. That's something that that's only my personal breakdown of it. I'm not dogmatic on it, but anyways, I found it interesting. And so his first time he appeared on the road, his dancers were following behind him in the path of a snake, and he was at the head. And so the head of the serpent is to be crushed, right? Biblically, in Genesis, that's what God says to the serpent after he, led his deception to Eve and Adam. That God says that I will crush your head, but you will bruise my heel. Pretty much, basically, just showing the fact that you're going to do something to me, but I'm going to have the ultimate move over you, right? And this is talking about when Christ was getting crucified, but yet in his crucifixion, he defeated death and he conquered the sin of the world, and destroyed the ultimate plan that the devil had. And so Kendrick Lamar is walking down the street, and his dancers are following him, behind him. I don't know if you guys remember that. You guys remember that at all?
No.
No? So I think I have a picture here of it. And let me see if you can see it. Not sure if you can see it, but
Oh, yeah.
it's him moving with, and as he's
Okay.
walking,
I remember that
they're
now.
literally following
Yep.
in suit.
Yeah, that's like a snake for real, man.
Uh-huh.
That's a snake.
I didn't see. I didn't even. I was busy. I wanted to sit down and really pay attention, but I was doing too much.
Yeah. And again, this is subjective, but it's just
Well, no,
something that
that's
I
pretty-
obviously, it's pretty like kind of spot on. But the interesting thing too, I'm just going to go through my whole little spiel here, and then we can all just kind of open discussion it. One of his first get-togethers with his dancing crew on the football field was in the shape of an X, It looked like there was mirrors on all sides of them, and they were all. It was just like it was a stage, but not a stage because it wasn't elevated, but it was on the football field, and they were all. It was four corners basically in a room, but it was in the shape of an X. The shape and the symbol X goes back to ancient Osiris tradition, right? Where you're kind of like this. It's an occult symbol, and I wasn't even blown away with that. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of I get that.
They
But
do that in their cult, like like
well,
this.
when you look at all the celebrities, they all have photos of them doing Osiris
Yeah,
X.
yeah.
And Lord forgive me for even just doing that right now. It kind of just feels weird. Um, but what blew my mind the most, and you guys are gonna get a kick out of this, dude. But at some point during the choreography, everyone gets together on one side of the X, on one corner. There's four corners to an X. Everyone gets in one side, in one corner of the X. And Kendrick Lamar, his exact position is on the 33rd yard line.
Freemasonry.
It is on the 33rd yard line, and I know this because when I even have a picture of it, and let me know if you guys can see this. It's pretty stinking obvious. There's the 30-yard line. The 40-yard line is to the left. He's on the
Yeah.
33rd.
That's definitely
Wait,
on
where is he?
purpose.
Go show me that again.
I'm
Looks
gonna.
like he's on the 30-yard line.
No.
Isn't he right in the middle?
No, that the guy on the 30-yard line is the guy with the camera.
Ah,
He is
okay.
on the
I see
33rd.
he's on the, yeah.
His exact position is on the 33rd.
Dang.
Which is kind of like, oh
Pretty
my
sus.
gosh, bro.
Signaling to their brethren.
And I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I did see some circle seancing going on, which is basically that Kendrick Lamar was in the middle of a circle and people are just walking in a circle around him, circle seance. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, obviously. People can be holding hands in a seance, people can be in movement. And especially in the woods, I think that there's definitely occult rituals like that going on in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
There's these seances over fire.
Right.
Fire representing,
Yep.
Satan himself. And if we do think of what Kendrick Lamar was wearing, he was wearing the color black. He's in the middle of the seance. Satan is in the middle of the ritual. It's just kind of little weird things, boys.
Yeah,
Little weird
I
things.
thought it was funny today. I saw a ton of people going live, and of course, it's all for views. And they're like, "This is why," and it was mainly on TikTok, but this is why their headlines were like, "This is why Kendrick Lamar's performance went over your head." And then there's a bunch of videos about it, and I'm just like, I didn't watch any of them really, but I'm just like thinking, okay, clickbait. That's cool. I was like, what does Stevie got to say? let's. I'm curious,
Right,
Because I
right,
didn't
right.
really pay attention to it, and you're like the master of catching this stuff. So Stevie's always like the guy, like go sit down and watch a movie and have him pick it apart. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You see it every day on the movies, man. It's just
My
like, I can
wife
pick it
hates
up.
me for it.
Oh, dude.
It's like you make everything like not fun anymore. And I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah. My wife's
I'm
like,
like,
"Can you shut up with that?" I'm like,
sorry,
okay.
but if there's an elephant in the room, I'm gonna freaking say there's a damn elephant.
I'm
in the
starting
room.
to
There's a
catch stuff
pentagram on there. There's a
certainly
pentagram.
more often,
Okay.
but not.
I get it, and what was kind of cool is that we just went to Disney. I just took my family to Disney for during the Super Bowl Sunday, and just at Disney, it's a wonderful place. It's a very magical kingdom. It's fun, man. It's fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's fun.
Of
You
course.
feel like there's this energy in the air of just happiness and
Yeah.
play and all this stuff, and the kids love it, and it's a great time, man. But then again, I'm there and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. So I'll see. Let's say,
Yeah.
oh wow, all right, let's go in this Freemason building.
Right.
Yeah.
A little architect, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Walt Disney's a 33-degree Mason.
I'm saying like Disney. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's 3 6s in that. Like, does anyone not see this?
What does it say when you flip Disney upside down? What does that say? Lucifer or something like that.
No, it's
Oh,
six.
I
six,
have no
six.
idea.
It's literally
It's
okay. You know the curves
the
where it says Disney World, like it has the 666.
Yeah.
Like it
It
says
says
Mickey
something else
Mouse.
though too.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
remember
There's
what
plenty
it
of
was
other
saying.
symbolism on there.
well, what's funny is when I was in Planet Hollywood, not Planet Hollywood, what am I talking about? That's in Vegas.
Yeah.
When I was in Hollywood Studios, there's a like a history walkthrough thing that where you can go into, and it's like a museum that shows you everything about Walt Disney, how it started. Everything is like little
Wicked.
3D models that you can see of the first park, then like the second park, and how it just kind of evolutionized down the road to where it is today. And everything's like got this like architecture 3D models in front of you, which is so cool. I kind of love that stuff. And we all know Walt Disney was in a secret society, and he was best friends with what's his name? The guy who started NASA. Oh, going mind blank right
Jack
now.
Parsons. Oh no no
No,
no.
no, no.
Yeah. Well.
Von Braun.
Yep. Werner von Braun. Von
Yeah.
Braun.
So he was best friends with him, and especially during the '60s, especially with the rocket age, and when we went to the moon, and
Yeah, they were like
all.
best friends with that. When especially during the space age, Disney
I
had a
didn't know that.
huge impact on that. Oh
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh yeah, they were best friends. Yeah.
yeah.
And
That explains all the Disney movies about monkeys and the. Remember that Disney movie about the monkey and the. There's a
right,
bunch of. Yeah, you're right.
right.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, a lot of
Dig deep.
interesting things with that, and the fact that in its early animation age with Mickey Mouse and Disney, everything was in black and white, right? And there was a lot of sexual
Lion King,
things
yeah.
in these Disney animations.
A lot of them. Yeah.
I remember like there was one where Mickey Mouse is literally poking holes through things with
Oh, I saw
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
his phallus, and it's on a conveyor belt, and so he's just doing it left and right because he's like, and I'm like, you don't pick those
That's
things
an
up.
It's
old one,
subtle
right?
stuff.
That's
That's an
an
Yeah.
old
old
one.
one.
That's an old
Same with
one.
Aladdin too.
Hey,
You can
so
see all that stuff.
I was thinking Disney upside down. I was thinking of Mickey. Mickey upside down says Wicked.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And of course,
Ah,
they just came out with that movie, Wicked.
Which is wicked.
interesting. Yeah, everything's becoming a real. What do they call those movies where they're taking the old animations and they're making them real
Oh,
life?
like reloaded,
Recreations.
reanimated, or reloaded, or whatever.
There's
Is it?
called something.
Remastered.
Was it remastered?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, wild stuff. Disney was cool though. I went to Magic Kingdom. I went to Epcot. I went to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios was the bomb, bro. I'm a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I don't really care if you talk smack about it or whatever. I love it. It's awesome. I was about to get a little tiny little Yoda thing that I
I
can
know.
put
I
on my
was gonna say,
shoulder.
where's that at?
I know. I got the Yoda patch on today. Hey.
Yay.
But no, I was gonna get the little Yoda thing for my shoulder, but it was like $45, bro. Like,
What?
dang, dude, I'm out. I'm gonna go look on Amazon. And then
45.
Amazon was selling them for like 55, and I was like, yo, what? Oh my goodness. I'll
That's
be
crazy.
rich in this thing.
Yeah, real
And
talk.
it just straps to your shoulder? It's like
This is a magnet. Yeah, it's just a magnet
Oh.
that kind of just sits there like that.
Oh, that's cool.
lame.
No, it was pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna buy it again when I go there. I think we're gonna do like
When
season
we go a big
tickets.
trip, yeah.
Yeah,
Us
I'm
boys.
gonna get season tickets there, and because you get 20% off everything there if you have season tickets.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, it's
Wow.
worth it. It's worth it. You can go like every weekend if you wanted to, and if you think about the end of the year, how much money you've saved,
Yeah.
dude, it's
You guys
insane.
ever
And
been
it's
to
just fun.
Disneyland?
Never, no, never been to
Disneyland's
California.
pretty interesting. Oh, you've never been to
never-
California?
never been to
That's
Cali, no.
right.
I don't plan to go to California ever.
No, I've never been to Cali,
Yeah.
man. So
My ex girlfriend. Well, when I was 16 years old, my girlfriend's family took me there, and I remember they all went to bed. They stayed in the hotel that's in the park, and they all went to bed. And the train still goes for a while at like 8, 9 o'clock.
No
And I
way.
went out, and there's a train that goes around the whole. It's this little train.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what
Really
you're talking
cool.
about. Yeah.
Went on it by myself, and it was. I don't know. I was just like having a blast by myself. Just
I've been
riding
on a
this
train there. I've been in the one here in Florida. Like there was a train too.
similar
Like,
kind of deal.
yeah, they had one
Mhm.
running late, so like yeah, eight or nine, like you were saying.
Yeah, that's
It's
an
fun, though.
old. That park's old, man.
Yeah.
People have
Yeah.
died there. There's all sorts of creepy stories.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe. Yeah, underground. Yeah, you're not supposed to say that part out loud. Disney doesn't want you knowing that.
right when I said that, my on-air sign fell off Bob and dropped on the ground.
Oh no.
They're
I
tapping
don't
in.
care, Bob.
Yeah. They
Some
know.
don't care.
Yeah, get his grip strength up, will you?
Yeah.
Right?
Goodness. Golly.
Got to get
Bob, why
swole.
isn't your duct tape work
You
better?
need to
dude?
pump him
Come
up
on.
with some more air.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's slouching a little bit.
He's
He's-
slouching, bro. He's decompressing.
Wake up, bud.
It's relaxing.
Hey, so
on.
what else were we going to get into? We talked about a couple other things earlier today.
Yeah, I know that you brought up the fact about that there was a 5-year-old article that you read.
Oh, yeah,
brought
yeah,
up
yeah.
From Forbes, I believe it was.
So Brett Weinstein went on, or Weinstein, however you pronounce it. He went on Joe Rogan recently, and he was talking about. He goes, Joe Rogan's. They're starting to get into like the UFO, UAP stuff, all the whistleblower stuff, and he's like, I really think that these UAPs, these Tic Tacs, these eggs that we keep seeing and hearing about. He goes, I think the projections. And I was like, whoa. I don't know why I never thought
I
that.
mean, so he's specifically saying the Tic Tac, so the crafts that we think are actual physical things, rather than and I don't want to cut you off
No, you're good.
just for a second. When we had on Chris, episode, I think that was 18 now, when we had Chris on with Faith Sower Ministries, he talked about that there's a difference between the UAPs
Oh, yeah.
and the
Yep.
UFOs, which
I remember
actually
that.
kind of made sense to me. He's like, the UFOs
I never heard
are
that before either.
the lights in the sky that defy laws of physics and can't be it's a spiritual thing.
Right.
Then he talks about the UAPs are basically the spiritual technology, the fallen angel technology, whatever you want to call it, that Lockheed Martin and
Right.
all of these high tech companies.
It makes
are
you wonder why
building.
they switched it up like that. Like why they.
Right, and well, then you brought up the fact that Hillary Clinton was actually the first person to disclose that new term UAP.
Yeah. She's like, they're actually called UAPs now.
Really? Golly, and where's that email about Gilgamesh, lady?
Oh, uh-oh.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, what did you mean by that? Okay.
We want its DNA. We want
so-
Nephilim
You
DNA.
gotta get Hillary Clinton out here, dog.
Yeah.
No, so he said that. It blew my mind because when you hear projections, he goes, I think he's like really straightforward, like immediately. And this dude's not a stupid guy. He's a really smart guy. He's Darwin kind of guy. He's an evolutionary biologist, but doesn't mean he's not smart. Doesn't mean he's not educated. And I don't believe in the evolution of like he does. But regardless of that, he's straightforward. He was like, hey, I think these are projections, and that lines up with what Operation Bluebeam, which clearly lines right up
Project
with
Bluebeam.
it.
Yeah.
And he said, these things don't make any sound. They don't leave a trace. They're just faster than fast gets. I mean, and I'm like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. And then he brought up an article, or Jamie brought up an article that's like 4 or 5 years old, and it's the Navy created this counter-strike laser plasma images where they would use it to deter missiles. But you can also use it in many other ways. You can make images. You can recreate anything you want out of this laser technology or this plasma technology that the Navy has. And they brought it up. It's just a very interesting.
So it's
and
like
you
an
can Google it.
alternative way of using flares.
Yeah,
It's just this is now a different
yeah.
technology. It's a
That was
different
the
way to do it.
purpose, right? And it's just
Yeah.
like it blew my mind though. I was like, I never didn't really think of it that way. And I believe in Project Bluebeam, Operation Bluebeam, whatever you want to call it. I think it's in full effect right now. I really do. And I'm starting to think. I told Stevie earlier. We were on the phone. I said, "Hey, man, we got Eric Bledsoe. We can talk about him too. Could you imagine just the government has just been screwing with Eric Bledsoe for years now? I mean, he grew up next to Fort Bragg, right? And he lives in the same area, I guess. Could you imagine just that he's just MK Ultra'd? He reeks of MK Ultra to me. Like, I think the government is just, he kind of gives me lobotomized feelings. You know, he reminds me of
I,
JB a little bit,
right.
not Justin Bieber,
I
Joe
almost,
B, baby. You know.
yeah, I almost think that like the definition now of MK Ultra that we need to recognize in our day to day is that you're just so heavily seduced into believing something that you truly believe is the truth,
Yeah,
but it's
I think that's a part
fabricated.
of it. You know, that's a part of it, right?
Right.
I think
It's a
the
part of
MK
it.
Ultra is kind of like expanded. They started out
Oh, for
small and
sure.
worked small. Now it's just expanded to like, yo, our technology is increasing like big time, and now it's just everybody's almost included on this MK Ultra kind of like programming. You know, we're all under psychological warfare 24/7 ever since back in 2020. You know, like so, especially you know.
Right. No, and
Yeah,
I think there's something behind the story of Bledsoe, and I'd like to get into that if you want to.
yeah.
Let's get into
Let's jump right
his
in.
story.
Let's jump
So
right into that.
you know his story probably best, and I'd like you to just give a
So
short description of
yeah,
what happened.
so basically, Eric Bledsoe, he had a few experiences when he was younger. His wife died when he was young, in a really tragic way. A very heartfelt story, very sad. But long story short, he's at the lake. He's like he's got Crohn's disease. He contracted Crohn's disease. I don't know if you say contracted, but he's got Crohn's disease, and it's withering away at his body, and he's got kids, and he can't afford to take care of his kids, and he's sick. Well, they all go out and camp out one night at the lake, and they're fishing and having a good time. And he goes off on his own because he's depressed. So he's severely depressed, and he goes off hiking on his own in the woods. And he's basically just like asking God, "Hey, please, just I don't know what to do. I'm severely depressed. I can't take care of my kids. I just don't, I don't know what to do. I'm lost." And all of a sudden, while he's hiking, this orb comes down, this bright orange orb comes down, and he sees it and he gets real scared, so he tries to hide behind a bush, and he's looking at this thing, and he realizes that he can't hide because he like feels like this thing is like looking at him and knows he's trying to hide. And basically this thing eventually was like spoke to him telepathically. It was like, "Hey, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you." Well, they didn't go much farther than that. He went back to camp, found out that when he got back to camp, that his son, his 17-year-old son, went off looking for him. And he, Eric or Chris Bledsoe thought he was only gone for, 30 minutes or 45 minutes. He was gone for hours. He was gone all night. And his son was scared and went out looking for him. And while his son was out, he gets back to camp, and they're like, "Where's my son?" And he went out looking for you. You've been gone for 4 hours. Well, his son, they go out looking for him. They find his son, and the son's like, uh, just scared out of his mind because he saw the same thing. Well, he saw the same thing. He's scared out of his mind. They all end up leaving because these things actually follow their truck. So they all get in the truck, and these guys are all experiencing the same exact thing, and they're all scared out of their mind. They want to be dropped off. They're all arguing who gets to get dropped off first, and they all go home pretty much. But these orbs are following them the whole time. So that's basically the story of Eric Bledsoe. And
Yeah,
now to this day, Chris Bledsoe is experiences these things at his house. They've come into his son's bedroom. They've been dealing with this for years. His son was 17 then. His son's like in his 30s now. So they've been dealing with these orbs on their property for years, and they're still dealing with it today. And he has videos all over the internet. He's showing you. I just saw one the other day. He's got a big bright like orb, purple bluish orb that's like going in the crowd, and then one pops up over here. It's pretty crazy, but
You got to get him
I
on the
get
pod.
I'm sus. I'm suspicious about it. I feel like maybe the military is literally using him. He doesn't even know it. Maybe he's being MK Ultra. They lobotomize him. They're doing the whole. That's the vibe I get from it.
yeah.
And
Well, that's where
so
I get to, where this is the new age of psyops, and this is the new age of it's not Operation Mockingbird like it used to, where the CIA would go ahead and inject these agents into the news media to where then they would create propaganda and mislead you in your perception in the world today. It's now moving to a different level. It's now it's on, and it's nothing against our show or others, but It's getting into social media. It's getting into podcasts. It's getting into virality, and they're using these outlets that are a part of the virality of information. And I think that they're putting these people in these
Yep,
shows.
agents of
I don't think
basically
they know that they're agents.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
I
think
think
they're
some of
literally
them do.
Jason. I think they're literally Jason
have
Bourne.
to. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they're Jason
Right, that's
Bourne.
a good point, Taylor. I said kind of the similar thing. I got a feeling like have to, like we got that one guy that just came out. His name's Jacob Barber or something like that. He
hmm
just did. He talks about being able to summon the egg. He's like, we can summon the egg whenever we want, and he works for a private company now. He used to work for a crash retrieval program. I mean, he's went through the
hmm
ringer with the military.
Right. But what if
But
part of the psyop is clout chasing, and
well,
these are
that's
just
what I'm
people?
saying.
That is part of it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what I'm saying too. It's like it
all these
feels like
mainstream
it.
people like Jake
I mean,
Paul and
why
all
are
these
they
other
all?
people.
Why is it so organized now?
Yeah.
Why is
They
it so
see
organized?
these people are sold out. There's like they're
And
sold
he's
basically
like,
for
dude, he's
fame,
like,
money,
I
and
can
power.
summon the egg. All I picture is a projection that they're using. I'm like, oh, you can summon the egg. You mean you can use a, high advanced plasma
Yeah,
projection,
yeah.
buddy? Can't
It's
trick
just
me, bud.
right. Half of
No,
them
I don't know
are
what's going on. I don't, I that's just my feelings about it.
yeah. Half of them are in on it and know it, and half of them don't know it and are just forwarding that satanic agenda. You know what I'm saying? Using their
Mm.
platform, and they'll get money. See, I used to be in acting and stuff like that for a while in New York, and I know certain actors like every single scene that you do is like monotonously gone over and over and over to the finest details. So these people know what they're doing, and some scenes even take like little like 15-minute scenes can take an hours or days even sometimes to get it right. So the fact that people are throwing up these symbols and doing all these things, they know what the heck they're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like unscripted or something. And even if it looks unscripted, they're definitely making it just look that way on purpose. It's just everything to the minute detail is on there for a reason.
Oh,
So,
dude, I got to make a point here. So actually, let me get the book. Continue.
No dead air.
but yeah, it
No dead
and no
air.
dead air. Yeah, run it. Yeah,
Not
but
allowed.
it's basically, dude, everything is in there for a reason. There's no, everything that's in there is no coincidence, and
Right.
there's
Dude,
you're
do
forwarding
you
the
think?
agenda.
I mean, it's the government. They're so compartmentalized.
Yeah,
They're so keen and sharp, and they cross their T's and dot their I's. Do you think maybe they want you to see? They're only going to let you see what they want you to see. Come
exactly,
on now, don't be so
exactly.
seduced.
Yeah.
Like me too. I've been very seduced as well with all
Oh,
of it.
we
It's
all have.
fascinating, right?
Yeah.
But it's like they're pretty up and up. I think they're only going to let you see what they want you to see.
Exactly.
I had an
Yeah.
old man tell me years ago, I brought this up before. He worked for the Air Force. He wanted to be a part of Operation Blue Book, which was the very first UFO program to
hmm
study UFOs, which was eventually just all propaganda and BS, but he was a little too late and he didn't have the credentials to join in. So the 3 years that he needed, they didn't give it to him, and then the operation, the project was already shut down. But he told me, he goes, man, when you see the SR-71 information get released and disclosed to the public, when you see these things get disclosed to the public, it's already an antique. It's
Yeah.
already an antique.
Exactly.
This guy was like
Dude,
89 years old when he
they're
told me
living
this.
at like 100 years more technology than we are past because they work with the fallen, dude.
I
Like
mean, of course. I
let's be
mean,
honest here. They're reverse
Well,
engineering all that.
I don't think working with the fallen is necessarily like a physical thing. I
mm.
think they're channeling this stuff just how
I
the
think it's
Nazis
both.
did.
Yeah.
What I think it's both too. What about that guy that
let's
remote
talk about
viewed into
this
the
though.
mountain and could see the
Yeah,
hybrids
the
working
fallen
with the
angels working with
government?
the humans. Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
mountain. I believe
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I think it's spiritual and physical
I
because we
think
know
there's
like the Nephilim are real too, but also like there's
yeah.
the Nephilim spirits too. So like
I
the
just think there's more weight on the scale with the occult and our government
oh
and the
yeah.
channeling of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
The info. Yeah.
Heimlich Himmler, who was Hitler's right-hand man, was fascinated with the occult. He had witches in their party and their
hmm
governmental party, and that's how they got their information to be more at a higher level of technology than any other country around them, and that's why they really dominated the world in World War II. It was just they ran out of resources and money and all this kind of stuff. Counter move, right? To the move. And it's just this I think that's kind of where we're at today too. Um, I just don't know. I had this hard time. I don't have a hard time grasping it. I just like, man, is it really like that? To where there's just fallen angel scientists just working with our scientists
Well,
and like give me a
Phil
help
Schneider.
help me understand. Okay,
Phil Schneider, but remember the guy
hear
that
me
just went
out.
on Joe Rogan recently?
Well,
Yeah.
hear me out. We're
The guy had
talking
no
about
ears, blue skin. Come on, that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy, man.
well, sure, but then again, we were just
Yeah,
talking about
he's
MK
lying.
Ultra
Yeah,
and
could
what
be
is
lying. Right,
could be
right,
all just
right,
propaganda. I mean,
right.
I feel we need to think about what they're not telling us instead of what they're telling us.
Of course,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
If
I
that
agree.
makes any
No, I
sense.
agree 100%.
But I grabbed my Project Bluebeam book. I love this thing because it's a 4-step process. A lot of people just focus on, they hear it and they go, "Oh yeah, the fake light show in the sky." Well, yeah, but that's only step 2, man. There's
Yeah.
a whole agenda to this. And step 4 is universal supernatural manifestations via electronics. And so,
Manifesting.
yeah, I'm just like wondering if it's even possible with what did your dad call it? Psionics?
Psionics,
Psionics.
Pion.
So I think
IC.
that describes psionics, but they're looking at it possibly from like an occult. No, hold on. So they're
A
looking
secular
at
view,
it. They're
maybe?
looking at it being a real thing in society, but could it be technology that we're influencing people to think that they're really doing these things? If that makes any sense,
Oh,
I don't know.
100%. That's
And I'm
kind of what I
talking
was
about
just
like
saying
through the
too.
communication factor of it. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
like the manifestation thing is real, but God says that we shouldn't dabble in that, and we won't.
Exactly.
But I do think that there's something like that, where
Yeah.
are these experiences that they're having, for example, like what kind of experience am I trying to say here? Oh, the abduction phenomenon, right? Like, for example, the abduction phenomenon. Some people really think that these beings come here and take these people out of here and take them to these different star, constellations and show them the universe. Maybe do some weird sexual things with them and then bring them back,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Because they're trying to pervert God's image. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But could it also be technology that's giving these people these experiences? That's kind of like where I'm at. I like to think of that.
Yeah, I think they're using their, like, a lot of them are using their technology, heavenly knowledge for bad. So they're trying to get people to believe that, oh yeah, we're from the stars and we're doing this, and they give them, it's like what they do in MK Ultra. Like, they could make up any scenario they want. Like, oh yeah, we took them to Mars, like the 20 years back program. Like, we took them to Mars and they worked with aliens and stuff like that. That's what they just got you to think through the MK Ultra, but in reality, they're just doing some messed up occult practices on you.
Yeah,
to
Stevie,
create
while you were
trauma.
grabbing the book, we were saying, like, dude, don't you think that they're just going to show you what they want you to see? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Just really
It's
think
all
about it.
narrated and
Right.
funneled.
Very
in there.
seducing, but
Right.
they're
Well, think of
they're kind of
the
on the up and up.
yeah.
They're not slouches. They're not stupid.
No, and I think they are on the up and up. I think they know us better than we know ourselves, just based off of data, like just based off of how much this records from me. They know my imperfections. They know my tendencies way better than anything.
Hey,
The
And I think
algorithm knows
it
everything.
makes you easier to be manipulated, if that
so
makes any sense.
there was a guy, and I believe it was the same guy that was a part of doing what's that other browser that it blocks Google? What's that browser called?
Oh,
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
No.
That's
No,
what
I think they
DuckDuckGo is corrupt
actually,
now.
yeah, it
No.
is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
corrupt.
I
They're
use
done
Mozilla
now.
Firefox.
It's been
No.
corrupted for like 4
It looks
years
like
now.
Firefox. It's called Brave. My bad, Brave.
Brave.
Hey, so this guy went on Joe Rogan, and it might not be him, it might have been somebody else, but he talked about advertisement strategies and technology, and and we've thought this for years that the technology is literally reading your thoughts, and he's talking about
it
how
is.
it can read your thoughts with your eye movement and stuff like that. I don't believe it. I really think they have technology and have had technology that literally it's a what is it called, Black Mirror? What are these called, Black Mirrors?
Yeah, these
Is that
black
what we-
mirrors, but they're literally flashing a light at you every second. Even right now, as I'm speaking, it's flashing
I
a
know.
infrared light at me right now. It's tracking my
Oh,
face,
I
my
forgot
eye
about
movements,
that.
even your brain waves, bro. It sounds psycho, but it's not. It's truth. We need to get over this crap that it's conspiracy theory because it's not. It's already been proven, dude. Like you know, like you put a flashlight on this thing right now, you'll see a little light going flashing. Right
Well,
now.
you can't see infrared light. I disagree with that. But
Well,
the one thing that I'm
the
saying,
UAV light.
well, but the one way that I found that it was doing that
Yeah.
is from my kid's camera that watches her
Yes.
in the back seat. It
Yeah.
goes in infrared mode when it's in the dark.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
And
seen
when
those
when
videos.
Brittany was using this just background light to like look at her, see if she was sleeping, the light was just strobing.
You can get the purple light, the UV light
like,
though,
wow.
and see it though,
Yeah,
can't you?
strobing,
Like,
yep.
that's
No,
what I'm saying. Like,
infrared light you can't see with the naked eye at all.
oh, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
thought if you put like a
That
UV
which
light
brings up a very
on,
interesting
what the heck is
thing.
that light?
The Lucifer device that's hooked up to the Jesuit telescope located on Mount Graham up in New Mexico. It has infrared technology, so it's meant to really be able to see deeper into space and to see all of these things flying around in the sky. They quote that they watch every day.
Stuff floating around and going around. Yeah.
No, like they see these things flying around at 90-degree angles and doing all this kind of weird stuff.
Yeah, they know there's stuff
Wow.
going on there. That's why they have them hidden deep within the libraries that they don't let people know about.
So, speaking about that kind of flying in the sky stuff, I watched
Dicenium
confessionals.
glasses.
Confessional podcast. He went on vacation.
that
He had these other
Totally
guys
Merkel.
come on and run his podcast, and they were talking about this upper part of above the atmosphere, this upper part of our atmosphere that is like more like water, and there's these translucent beings that actually live up
Yes,
there.
it's like jellyfish in the sky type
Yeah,
thing. Like it's like
the manta rays have been recorded. They've
Yeah,
apparently
bro.
been recorded and talked about.
the
and
waters above and below, dude.
Yeah,
I
makes
see
sense.
Space isn't real.
Why
But,
did
like,
Why did the space guys? Why did the astronaut's helmet fill with water?
Because I'm under the impression, I don't know about you guys, but that
What,
it
that they're in
is
a pool?
water. Yeah, it is water up there.
They're
Like,
filming
I think,
it from a pool.
Well, yeah, they are. They are. Hollywood's definitely doing that, filming it from a pool. But I think that also, okay, you know that scuba diver that I was talking about, Jesse, that like went under the ocean, then saw ocean
Oh,
under
yeah.
the ocean type stuff, and he tried to bounce through it, and his little machine, Subnautica machine, wouldn't let him. I think it's the same as above, you know? So that's where they get that saying, as above, so below, but it's also spiritual, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, as in the heavens, so on earth type thing.
That's
you
the
know?
thing that I drew that one night. We
Duality.
talked about that too. I think with the Holiday, he was talking about the toroidal levels. And I mean, could you imagine you're going to the top, and it's not, those lights are.
Like,
Yeah,
more
I've heard a
ocean.
lot of people break this down as far
the
as
bottom feeders of the
what is
ocean.
holding the waters, and I don't think it's anything like a membrane. I don't think the Bible kind of describes anything like a membrane. I think it describes something that's more of like a rock crystal form of something. And that word firmament or whatever it is, I think it's called rakia, which is where we get the word rock from, hard substance.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh wow,
and,
really? That's
and
what that. It's
yeah,
Rakia is the firmament.
yeah, and there's been a bunch of different.
Interesting.
There's been been a bunch of different scriptures that kind of pertain to
The hard glass of the firmament fell down in some areas.
the glass kind of idea to
Yeah,
it.
sky glass. Everybody's talking about the sky glass is
dude.
going to
It's
fall
like super
now.
blue, dude.
So
Yeah, but
what blew me away one time was listening to Hillary Clinton. She was on stage, and her thing when she was running for office, I think it was she was running against Trump, right? 16? She was running against Trump? Okay. So when she was running against Trump, every political president candidate like has their little saying, like Obama's was yes I can,
yeah.
or yes we can.
Mm-hmm.
Biden's was build back better. Well, hers was we're gonna take down that glass that glass ceiling. We're gonna take down that
take it
glass
down or break
ceiling.
it down.
She said something like
no,
that.
she said we're gonna penetrate that glass ceiling.
Yeah, she did say that. She did. I remember that
many times. I mean,
there was a lot of memes too.
We're talking about like 15
Chicken Little
plus
memes.
different times.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. and we're gonna puncture and we're gonna get through that glass ceiling. And it's almost like, dude, you're
Right.
satanic and you're saying that and you want to get to heaven. That makes me
Right.
think of like the Tower of Babel.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they trying to like
Ah,
get to
Why they shoot
heaven?
them rockets up there?
All right.
okay.
I mean, you're
Trying to break the
trolling the
firmament.
conspiracy theorists here.
I am, dude.
Hardcore.
But I think that's why they shoot the rockets because they're trying to break the firmament. But that's just my beliefs. But
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh.
I'm a weirdo,
I
man.
can't agree with that, bro. I'm
I
sorry.
know. I do. But what are
That's
your
fine.
thoughts?
That's
What are your
fine.
thoughts, Jesse? I want to hear your guys' thoughts though.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've
Yeah.
never been up there. I haven't seen it with my own
Yeah,
eyes.
same. Yeah.
And why is it that when you go on NASA's website that like 90+% of all of those photos are doctored and fake?
Right. Right.
Why is that? Why it's so suspicious, man? Go, you know, go watch some of these flat Earth documentaries. And the thing is, these people won't. They won't ever do it. They think it's ridiculous. But some of the stuff that they talk about, they actually perform some experiments, like we talked
Yeah,
about with the
without the
P1000.
fisheye
I
lens,
mean,
too,
a
yeah.
bunch of it. I mean, why is there fisheye lenses in general? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah,
There
yeah,
is. It's a fact. So what's the deal with that? I mean, there's plenty of weird stuff. Why is it that when these rockets do get to a certain altitude, it looks like they're hitting water? What's that
yeah.
effect? I mean,
I know,
I'm
and
sure
it,
there's
like
an
it ripples
effect.
too. It ripples.
Right, it looks
Yeah.
just like water. It's very fascinating, and I'm sure we can look it up and find it on Google. And
I
there's
think that
an
only
effect.
came into existence when Elon Musk was shooting his rockets up out there.
Huh.
It was.
be
I think it has
interesting.
something to do with the kind of technology that they have with the booster rockets and all that kind of stuff. Um,
I've seen it in person.
I-
I mean, I've seen him in Vegas. I've seen him
yeah,
in person.
it's a
Of course,
fun
you guys
topic
have
to
in
talk
Florida.
about. You know, like outside over a fire, we're roasting like marshmallows and stuff, and we're talking about, dude,
Yeah.
what, you know. But I think that I'm just
What?
gonna try and keep it simple because I did get sucked into this a lot. But
Yeah.
I
It's all
think,
theory, dude. Because no
yeah,
one knows.
yeah,
But
and
I
I
throw it
think
out there.
that I think
Hey, what
that
about the scientist though? He said the moon was plasma. He said
plasma,
it was a
right? This
plasma.
was a Russian scientist,
It's a
right?
Russian scientist,
This is before the moon
1964.
So
mission
why
as
is it
well.
rusting then, dude?
Well, this was an interview that was taken before the moon missions because there's an obvious space race going on, and
Yeah.
he was well known for his opposing theory that we would not be able to get on the moon because of this. That's why they covered his story.
And also killed him in a helicopter crash.
Oh gosh.
Jeez, yeah.
Like the next day or the day after,
Oh,
they
jeez.
Dang.
killed.
Well, maybe he has some
died.
validity then.
Again, I'm not opposed to it.
Give me
Again,
a
I don't
break.
think anyone knows, right?
No.
I think
Well,
I
Buzz
think it's as
Aldrin
simple as
might.
this, right? I
He
think it's as
admitted we
simple as
didn't know
this. I
that.
think that there's the first heaven, there's the second heaven, then the third heaven,
Exactly.
and whatever is in that second heaven area, I don't think we really know anything about. It's so funny because the mainstream will definitely tell you like they know everything about the universe.
Yeah.
They've got it all mapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like,
There's no God,
get outta
guys,
here.
because we mapped it out. And, like, we obviously know everything out there. Like,
Yeah. Well, a lot of the way they get their information and how far things are away based off of light years and how light travels in one direction is through spectroscopy and all these other
Bro.
kind of tools.
garbage.
Dude, Christian just sent me this. Caught in someone's camera tonight near our neighborhood. Bro, you're never going to believe this. She just sent me this just now.
What is it?
Yo, what
can't
the
see.
heck is? Oh,
I'm blind.
She just sent me this. This is exactly what we were just talking about.
What is
yeah,
it?
like the rockets, like going.
It's the rocket.
Yeah,
That's
like, it
hitting
looks-
the...
Yeah.
There's a rocket launch out by you?
Bro, I mean, where do I live? Come on now.
Oh, well, there's no like
Area 51.
there's no SpaceX out there, I don't think, is there?
Oh, bro, we got our own SpaceX out here, baby boy.
Really?
Dang.
Oh, dude, Nellis and the
No, I'm
base.
saying like a legit SpaceX because they shoot into the Bermuda Triangle for a reason.
Well, so
You know what I'm
the
saying?
ships land in water.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
no, these shoot off all the time out here. No, maybe not all the time, but
Gotcha.
it comes from so it's not Nellis. They don't come from Nellis. This craft, all the big stuff, comes from southwest, which is where Bob said S4 is.
Wait, but they would shoot it inland? Like these rockets fall out of the sky.
Well, Do
Yeah,
they?
then
And
back
what is
into the
this?
ocean.
You
They
know,
hit
I
the
don't know.
they
I
hit the
don't know what
firmament
this
belt.
is. I've
Oh,
seen them out here
could,
before.
if it's SpaceX, then it could land on a pad on its own.
I don't know, bro. I don't
I
know
don't know.
what this is. I've seen it out here before,
That's wild.
and it does go. It doesn't go up. It goes straight across. It's always
Interesting.
anytime I've ever seen them, it looks like
Interesting.
it's going straight across. Anyways, but this
Yeah,
one's
dude.
big, dude.
S4
Holy!
is right by you, man. Papoose
That's
Lake.
what this. That's where they come out.
Papoose
Is
Lake.
S?
That's like
No, no,
northwest
no,
of you.
no. Dude, S4, dude. All right, so I've worked with a lot of people that work at the test sites. We are completely. It's not just north. We are completely surrounded. The entirety of Las Vegas is completely surrounded by underground test sites. Completely. It's as simple as that. But this one, the big stuff comes out of Southwest, which is towards
Yeah.
Pahrump. It's before
Yeah.
Pahrump. It's like in that area.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You
I'm
can
just
see
going
them all
off
day
of
long.
what Bob Lazar was saying in that documentary with Jeremy Corbell
Yeah,
when he was blindfolded or whatever, and they took
he's
him
saying
like 15 miles.
south of
He
Papoose
said
Lake.
they went they went 15 miles south of Area 51,
Okay,
and which in the Papoose
so
Lake
that's still
mountain
north for
range.
me. Yeah, that's still north for me.
Yeah, it's like that northwest shot. It's not. It's right around the corner from Area 51. It's still kind of like
Right,
right in that little general area.
just more
We were
southwest.
really not too far away
No, we weren't.
from it at one point.
Go look it up, guys. We went to Desert Pass.
Yeah, that was
We went
wild.
to Desert Pass, and it was a terrible drive-in. Cool little campground, but I mean, when it gets down to 18 degrees and you forgot firewood,
It's not fun.
I mean, you didn't
It's not
forget
fun.
firewood. You
Like the
ran out of
water's
firewood.
freezing. The
My
baby
baby
wipes are
wipes
frozen.
froze. Couldn't even wipe my
The paper
bottom.
towel was frozen. I was like, dude, it's dry.
How
What?
do paper towels freeze?
Yeah, how's that? But man,
Luckily, I brought a jacket
goodness.
for my dog, so that was good.
Yeah.
Just a smart move
So,
on that.
dude, let's transition to some Trump talk. There's a bunch of talk with the whole Gaza Strip and everything.
Okay.
Trump is advocating that the United States is going to take over Gaza. This is going to be an area of triumph, and he's basically acting like he's buying an old business and he's going to rebuild it back up. um, our boy Matt, Shep for the King, you can find him on social medias under that, but he made an awesome video the other day. He was kind of breaking it down to how the Antichrist shows a lot of similarities with being in that region for some reason. I can't really get down to the bottom of it because it was so sophisticated how he was breaking it down. But things are moving, man. I think that our eyes have been taken off of Israel for a little bit. Kind of feels that way. Remember how it was like really, I mean, it was in the news every day with Israel and Hamas and all this war going on, but I think we're moving to an area where the third temple is going to be getting built. It's been said by the party that they plan on working towards this. Like it's said by our government, and I understand there's like a lot of little seasonness like in our community, and you know we're open to these things and eschatological view of it, but I think there's something behind the third temple. I think there's
Yeah.
some sort of significance behind it. I don't think we should just forget about it and just not think of anything about it.
Right. Right. Well, what's that one guy that didn't? Trump appointed somebody that's talking about building a third temple, right?
Yes, yeah. That I
What's
forget
the
what
guy's name?
he's in charge of. He's the white guy with the slicked hair. Kind of looks like a.
It's not Pete Hegseth, is it?
I forget his name.
Yeah, I know. I
He
forget
was
his
off
name
of
too.
Fox News though. I know that he was off of Fox News,
Not
which
Jesse
is
Waters.
another. No, not Jesse Waters. No, it's just another like what's going on here? Like they're taking people off of. I mean, uh, you know, news agencies and all this kind of stuff, bringing them in the government. I mean, Elon Musk he shouldn't be a politician, but he is. And it's like,
I mean, to be
whoa,
honest, though, all of the people that are getting put in positions are more logical than what the past
Sure,
administration
sure,
was doing.
1000%.
The U.S. aid stuff is hilarious. That's coming out right now. All the money we were. I've seen so many funny videos. This guy made a video with his daughter, and he's like, I just lost my job. he had like a MAGA hat, and he's like, I just made a terrible decision on voting for Trump. I just lost my job of 15 years. He's like, we're never gonna be able to find out if the wheels on the bus go round and round now. They took our funding.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll say this. I know I always mention the good cop, bad cop thing, but just think of
Yeah.
this. Think of this.
No.
We lived through this, right? We lived through 9/11. 9/11 happened. Think of it like of a terrible, destructive moment in our history and in our society that at that time, and everyone was okay with the administration going to war and taking over 7 countries in 5 years or whatever it was,
Yeah,
and
thanks, Bush.
the agenda got completed. And so I could see the same thing happening after 20 after 2020, and the administration came in, was destroying
Yeah.
the nation.
Everybody's
Everyone
sick of it, yeah.
hated it. Everyone
Yep,
was
yep.
sick of it. Then we get the people coming in. It's a problem, reaction, solution.
Right?
Hegelian dialect met at its
Hegelian
best.
dialect.
I'm like, man, dude.
Just letting hook, line, and sinker, buddy.
It's we are sheep, bro. Like we
crazy,
are
man.
so sheep,
Being
man.
herded. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just being controlled. Like we're just constantly being under
Psychological warfare. Yeah.
warfare, man. You know, and I think that's a big thing that happened in the garden was psychological warfare. I think all of this originates from the father of the world, like the prince of the air. Like I think it all originates somehow around it.
Yep.
And there's really nothing we can do about it because Jesus is coming back. He's got to come back.
He's gonna do something.
I know. So, some of y'all think that he's
already
come
did.
back already.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
already did. Yep.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much like when you from both sides, we can't be so stuck in intellectual concrete about all of it. I mean, there is so much typologies with end times, and I mean, Shepard even says it too. He's like, hey, if these are just typologies, I mean, this is pretty heavy stuff. I mean, it's like out in the open. It's very prevalent. It's all over the place. I mean, there's so much. To me, there's more end times tribulation stuff right now that proves that more so than like Tartaria and stuff like that. It's a fascinating topic, but yeah, I don't know, man.
We did.
We're along for the ride.
Yeah, and we've had a couple. We're gonna have some other people on to talk about this subject because we're just intrigued by it in general. And I think that when we had Paul on, and you were talking to him about the mark of the beast, and he made a good point that the mark of the beast was this, then it was this, then it was this, then it was this, then it was this. But then you were like, well, people are literally using their hands and paying for things in
Yeah,
they're
in
chipped.
Whole
Whole
Foods.
Foods.
Yeah.
Whole Foods, yeah.
Like we've never seen the dynamic of biological, just biological ways to pay for things.
Yeah. In our
So-
lifetime, for sure. In
In
our
lifetime, or
human
even
in
in
our human history.
human
that we
history.
know. Right.
We've
Yeah.
we've got Elon Musk working on things that are going to be
Yep.
implanted in your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
in the,
good on
in the
that.
frontal cortex. Like, okay, my frontal
Just
forehead.
gotta hack it.
All right.
What if they hack it and have someone do
Actually, I
something
do
like
think it
commit a
does
crime or
go
something?
in the back.
Yeah, it goes like right in the nape of the
Yeah.
neck. Yeah.
But
Well,
I
what
don't
if those
know
are just
if
the
he's
pictures
got.
to make you think that.
Well,
But
maybe.
really-
What if it goes in your
Okay.
forehead?
Right.
That guy went on Joe Rogan, so he didn't look like he had a scar on his
What
forehead.
if
but
no. But what if
I
it
am.
gets
it could transition into that.
yeah. Well, what if the technology just gets better into like more of a tattoo form? Like things just are like
They're
I'm
already.
s-
Oh, bro, you're getting
Yeah,
into
bro.
this.
Nah, I know. It's called
MIT has a
Luciferase,
patent.
yeah.
MIT
Lucifer-
has
The
a
micro
patent
needles.
for micro tattoos, which is just their
well, I've
microchips.
always talked about this, that I do think that this kind of mark that represents the beast and the system behind it, it's going to come through the medical industry. It has to, because that's the only way to
to
legally
get everyone on
put
board.
things into
True.
the body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
What if
you
it's a
have to
medical
consent.
tattoo?
You got to consent to those things, and
I know.
well,
Just like
what are you
Shepard said,
consenting
too.
to, right? Like you're
Right.
consenting to worship what? I just think it's it's adding up. I think it's worth talking about. So
Oh yeah, just like Shepard was saying too. It's just like
Or an upgrade in the
it,
medical.
it
Yeah.
it's they're allowing these AI to prescribe medicine to people now.
yeah.
Which is why
Now,
Luigi did what he did.
what if that's the whole purpose of the
Right. It's
alien
like you
narrative?
guys need this microchip in your brain to
Yeah.
fix your diabetes.
Well,
But what if it looks like when AI determines who's weaker versus who actually would be stronger? So, this person's gonna die at this certain age, and blah blah blah, and it's just not worth giving him an upgrade. So we're just gonna cancel him. And like, what if AI is making these decisions? Like,
That's a big thing. Yeah, that's a big thing too now. The people that
yeah.
are euthanizing themselves.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Horrible.
ridiculous.
That story about
AI
the
will
girl
just-
and
Mhm.
the girl in like I think it was Canada or something. She was like 16 or 18,
Yeah.
and the father found out that she signed up for the program to or to whatever. And
crazy, man.
I think they stopped it just in time, but he found out at like the last minute. They were like showing up to the house and they were gonna euthanize her. And he found out, and I guess
Bro,
stopped
without
it.
the parents' consent, if someone did that to my kid, anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's the problem with
some
this.
problems.
That's a problem with this stuff. With a lot of this stuff, these young people, like you look at all the people that did the sex change operations, and there's so many people that talk about how they regret it and they
Yep,
wish they never done it
70%.
because you can't. It's a 70.
70% regret it.
Holy jeez, dude.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, it's
70.
sad, man, and it's everybody's very easily seduced and manipulated by so many different things. We live in a wicked world, dude. We live
Yeah.
in a
It is.
really,
It's fallen,
really
man. It's terrible.
but
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's depressing. But
It
let's
is,
not get depressed.
Yeah.
no.
Because
Let's
Jesus
not
is the hope.
depressed.
The biblical hitmen
Yes.
are here now, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking out them
Over.
demons, bro. That's what I'm
But
saying.
We're here to
that's
take
all
over.
that's all I got for tonight, boys. I don't know if you guys
Yep.
have any last minute subjects we can
Not
cover
really.
real
There was
quick, or-
a Christian sent me one thing about Trump and this breaking news this morning about the Pennsylvania governor Shapiro. There's been I guess he was in cahoots with Joe Biden to kill Trump, and there's a whole hell's about to break loose. So
Yo,
that's gonna
She
be
needs to get off
interesting.
Twitter, bro.
Twitter's rough.
She needs to get off Twitter, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Twitter's
Yeah.
just live, dude. Just updates every second. It's
Right.
just like
Yeah.
Kanye too, man. Kanye, they need to ban PRN off Twitter. Kanye just ruined that,
That's
man.
not
That's-
the real.
that's
I don't think
crazy.
that's the real Kanye.
Oh,
Oh
dude,
my gosh.
Here
Kanye's
we
got
go.
like 6 different things.
What
in
was
him,
that
dude.
movie?
Alter egos or something?
What was that movie that they made back in the day called The Island, where they were making clones
yeah.
underneath?
Oh,
Yeah,
underneath
yeah,
the
I
ground.
remember my parents would love that like TV show, dude. But that's kind of
Well, it was
like
a
what
movie.
they're doing. Yeah. Oh, The Island was a movie. I'm
Yeah,
thinking of the
you-
island of like. what
You're
am I
talking
thinking of,
about
honestly?
with the dude that was Obi-Wan Kenobi with
Yes,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Great movie. Yeah, they were making
crazy
clones
stuff.
so they could use their organs.
Right.
And the rich folk, those were their clones.
The guy with the, when
kinda
they're
what
like
they're doing,
questioning
really.
the guy about, what are we? And the guy's like, well, you're not real. Well,
Yeah.
or well, you're not like me.
Yeah.
You don't
had
have a
that-
soul. I'm
Yeah, that,
sorry.
like prowler
You're
truck,
a
right?
Nephilim.
Yeah, you're a Nephilim. You have no soul.
Golly.
Can't be saved.
Well,
Yeah.
But well, hey, another one
fun.
in the books, folks.
Another one.
We appreciate
Another
you being here. And if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button, like the show, share it with your friends. Let's get this episode out, and let's get this channel out to others to, just let's build our community. And again, we appreciate y'all being here. We love y'all. We love the comments. We love the connections that we're making through the live chat and all this kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. We
All of them.
appreciate it.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Again, if you haven't checked us out on audio platforms yet, just check us out. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and pretty much all of the things. You can find us under the Biblical Hitmen, and check us out on audio. So it's cool. Leave us a 5-star review if you haven't done so already on the audio platforms. It's going to help us out, and we're just trying to share this show with others. And but that's it. Peace and love, everybody. Have a good night.